Hello, beautiful and beloved ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. Welcome and welcome back. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a music reaction today from Gigi, DeLana, Unholy. And that's coming up. But if you're interested to know about that strange title, Tightrope to 5D, stick around to the end. I'm going to give you a special message about this historic shift from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness. But first, let's look at this new singer to me. Here she goes.
Wait, no,
Okay. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't expect it to be a rock band, and she's like really funny. She's hilarious. But by the way, whatever you know about her, go ahead and put it in the comments there, because I'd like to know a little bit more about this one here. Here we go. Let's continue.
Lucky girl, she got married to a boy like you. She'd kick you out if she ever knew. But all the fun, it tell me that you don't. Dirty boy, you know everyone is talking on the scene. I hear them whispering about the places that you've been, and how you don't know how to keep your business clean. Mommy don't know that it's getting hot at the body shop, doing something unholy. He sat back while she's dropping it. She be popping it. Yeah, she put it down slowly. Mommy don't know that it's getting hot at the body shop, doing something unholy. Nanny daddy, if you wanna drop that Eddie, give me love, give me Fendi, my Balenciaga daddy. You gon'
My goodness, this is so bizarre. It's like a real genre that I don't very often, delve into, because it's wow, it's so, just like graphic, and it's sort of, I don't know, I would say like sort of teenage-ish. I'm out of those teenage kinds of stuff, but it's interesting, so daddy's messing around, and I don't know who this one that's singing it in. I'm trying to figure that one out. Maybe she is the mommy daddy one, the way you kind of call people mommy daddy, in a relationship sometimes. So who knows? So give me some comments here about what she's talking about. By the way, don't forget that I have my membership tiers now, and I'm busy putting a whole bunch of stuff in there that I think you would enjoy. So take a look at the little video about that and see if that's of interest to you. Here we go. Let's continue.
to bag it up, 'cause I'm spending on all day. You can watch me back it up. I'll be gone on the air, man. He give me pride, give me new like Rihanna. He always call me 'cause I never cause no drama.
Oh, she's the one he's messing around with. I think that's what it is. I got you. Okay.
And when you want it, baby, I know you got your covered. And when you need it, baby, just drop it on the covers. And mommy don't know that it's getting hot. Everybody shop, doing something unholy. He sat back while she's dropping it. She be popping it. Yeah, she put it down slowly. Mommy don't know that it's getting hot at something unholy. He said that when you're dropping it, should be popping. Yes, it boy, let's rolling. We don't know that it's getting hot. Everybody slow, doing something unholy. He said that while you're dropping it, should be popping. Yes, it boy, let's go.
Reminds me of the psychedelic music from my era, you know, this kind of way of playing it. Psychedelic when everybody was doing all the drugs and everything else, and this would be the music playing and the strobe lights are going around. That's so hilarious. She's sitting there faking her big O, you know. Oh my goodness. Like, you know, and it's just so young. It's so young. You know, it's like every generation thinks they invented sex. I'm saying that so YouTube doesn't strike me saying it that way. Every generation thinks they invented it. But guess what? We had it. We actually had it a long time ago. So, you know, this is kind of like these kinds of songs that are all about sex and whatever. They kind of just remind me as a very teenagerish kind of thing, you know. Not usually my ball of wax. It's kind of a loud, jarring sound. You know, if you have to put that they're a good, by the way, they're a good band for what they do. Absolutely. I know different bands do different things. So for what they're doing, they're doing a good job. But, you know, to put it on my scale of 1 being very third dimensional, fear, pain, sadness, anger, and all those jarring sounds and so forth, and 10 being very fifth dimensional, love, peace, joy, bliss, and very harmonious, loving sounds. So the whole sound of this thing and the words about, you know, like sex that's clandestine and not with the one you're actually supposed to be with and all that, you know, it's very low vibe. The sound of it's very low vibe. I guess it's kind of like it appeals to that teenage kind of what should you say, rebel, you know, that rebel. It appeals to that, you know, so that's why some people would enjoy it, I'm sure, you know, because they want to shock you. It's that shock factor, you know. So I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, though, 1 being very low vibrational, 10 being very high, placing this it's not like about murder, death, and desecration, which is good. So it's not that low. So it's like not a super, super low, but I go with like a 3 on this one. I'd say this is really not pulling you much toward the higher dimensions for sure. I'm surprised though, because it's a Filipino singer, I understand it. And I thought that most of the Filipino singers were doing harmonious, loving kind of stuff. So this ain't that. This is definitely not that. Maybe she does something else in a different song. You guys can put that in the comments and let me know if she does something different, you know, in some of the other songs, if I might want to take a peek at some of them. But so that's this one here. By the way, if you'd like to know a little bit about me, you can go to the About Me video here on this channel, which leads you to a longer video about what I call my Forged in the Fire of Third Dimension journey of this earth. And also you can go to the About Lorelei on Patreon. That will give you like a list of the things that I've created that you might want to be involved in. And do check out my little video, because the more people that look at it and give it a like, then it pushes the ones after it out. But if you take a quick peek, it'll help my numbers, so to speak. Okay, so let's get to our fifth dimensional message, our 3D versus 5D. So speaking of 5D versus 3D, and I pulled it right from this song, what actually is unholy? Well, there could be an argument that could be made, really, that on the greater sphere of things and everything and the cosmos and the universe and everything else, that nothing is unholy. You say, what? What are you talking about? Nothing is unholy. What are you talking about? Well, let's just think for a minute. We come to these realities that we sort of play in here as divine sparks of God. Now, as divine sparks of God, when first the divine sparks of God sort of, I don't know if they sort of broke away from the Creator or were created by the Creator, however you want to think of that, really. When they became or they came into being, they were wonderful, like lit up, like beautiful, like creating things, creating planets, creating worlds, universes, all of love, all of light. Everything was love and light. Everything everywhere was love and light. But millions of years later, it kind of got a little tiring to just have everything be love and light. So what did they do? They said, well, let's make up a game where we can send down parts of ourselves, just like God created or brought forth parts of itself, himself, him, herself. We can send parts of ourselves to play in this game. And the game would be a great game where we are separate from the Creator. In other words, we are separated. We don't know we are part of the Creator. We don't have or think we have those powers of being a divine spark of God. So we're completely like just alone, or we aren't really alone, but we think we're alone. We think we're not sparks of God. And we believe that. And that was the game that they came up with. And their thought was like, then what would it take for us to come back into union with the Creator, with divine beings everywhere, the higher beings, the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, etc. What would it take for us to find our way back? It was a big game. It was like a journey game, right? How could we find our way back to who we really were? So it makes sense that in a journey game like that, you're coming down, you don't know who you are. There's going to be a lot of darkness. There's going to be a lot of what looks like it's unholy. And this sex act between two people, clandestine, is not like anywhere near as unholy as it gets out there, right? You guys know that. That's like nothing. That's like next to nothing, right? It is like people have a drive and they go for it. And sometimes they go for it with the one that's not their loved one. And that's problematic in a relationship for sure. But on a scale of what horrible things are going out there, it's not really that big of a deal. What's really a big of a deal is like, I don't know, killing people, harming children, sex trafficking of women and children, satanic stuff. That's where you would go, and you're starting to look into what's really unholy or really looks unholy, like that satanic kind of stuff. So, but yet here we are, we're down here, we're divine sparks of God, and we're playing a game that we don't even know we're playing called how do I find my way back to the Creator? But except since we don't know we're playing the game, we're finding our way into all this darkness, all this what's like sort of unholy. But on a greater scale, like a grander scale, it's not unholy because it's a game. It's a game we're playing. And we're going to come back to who we are as divine sparks of God at some point. But it is a game we're playing. And what makes it a game we're playing is that we continue on. You see, this is not the be-all, end-all here. Even if we weren't going to the fifth dimension, even if historically we were just like, we're always doing and we're just going to die and so on and so forth, that's a butterfly transformation. And you go back and you choose another life. Maybe talk with your guides or whatever, and then you go choose another life, choose another piece on the board game, right? Choose another Monopoly, shoe, right? This time you'll be the shoe, Next time you're going to be, I can't remember what are the different Monopoly things that you have, It's been a while since I played Monopoly, The car, next time you'll be the car, Next time you'll be something else. So it's really, there's no finality to it. And it's horrible. And really, if you look on a scale of things, these things being done to children, these things being done to women, or the satanic kind of stuff, the abuse, the torture, all that, like that is like, you got to really see that that's unholy. That's unholy in the sense that is completely opposite of God, divine, right? in that sense, it's completely and utterly unholy, that kind of stuff that's going on. And that's what we're starting to take on now as we move up to the fifth dimension, because we can't move up there if all that's going on here. We need to put a stop to it. So that's completely unholy. However, on a grander scale, it's not, in the sense that because those ones are going to be able to come back again. Whoever is harmed and so forth in this dark way will come back as many times as it takes to get back to the love and the light. So in the sense that it's just all a game, then it's really not. But in the sense that it's exactly the opposite energy of the God and the divine, then it is, you see. So this one that she's talking about, teenagers making up that everything, every little sex thing, that escapade that they have is some horrible thing, right? That's going to shock the world. That's all that is, That's really nothing unholy in there. I mean, I don't know what the two were doing together. So that might be different, if they're messing around with whips and chains, that could be seen that way. But if they're just like in normal kind of clandestine activities that they don't want the other one to know about, it's not nice. It's not pretty. It's not going to work well for a relationship, but it's not what you'd kind of deem unholy in that sort of sense. So this is my message for you. When you get to the fifth dimension, all of that is gone. All of that darkness, all of that nastiness, even to want to betray someone in this way, you wouldn't even have that impetus, So, I mean, there's just no sticking yourself to one, and there's no betrayal of anyone. I mean, it just doesn't exist. None of that even exists. You're just in the love space with everybody and, all the time, and I don't mean that in a scatological way, like we might be thinking of it after this video, but, you're just in the space of love, all the time with everybody. And there just is none. If you are with your like twin flame or your twin soul, then it's beautiful and it's precious and it's wonderful. And when you go to do your thing and he goes to do his thing, then you have freedom then in that way, and I don't say that it's even exactly the same kind of an interaction, because as you get higher and higher, you're very able to have euphoria and way beyond any sex act, way, 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 way beyond, without even physically interacting with someone. So, I mean, the whole thing, it just goes away completely. It's not even there, So, so that's what you're looking forward to, is that like way, way, way more, sort of euphoric, ecstatic experience of life than you ever have here. And that's why we grasp at it so much when we have it with another person. We grasp at it because we're reaching for that feeling that we know is up there, or some part of us knows is up there, is available, is possible, right? And here we get in our sex act just a teeny little snippet of it, right? Just the tiniest little snippet. And we want more, another tiny snippet, and more, another tiny snippet. And whoever we got to get it from, right? Sometimes for some of us, But in reality, up there, it's all that. In the higher dimensions, it's all that all day, every day. So what is there to grasp at? There's no need to grasp at anything else. And that is a holy thing. That's actually the sex, ecstasy and so on, that many of the religions, especially the Christian religions, they put into their sort of teachings, if you will, their biblical teachings, that's a bad thing. That's an unholy thing, and it's not, and in fact, that was to hold us back. That was to keep us from feeling that as much as possible. They wanted to, make sure that they kept us down as much as possible. Some of those, I'm talking more or less about the Catholic. I think the Catholic did a lot of it, and although sometimes the other ones do as well. So yes, absolutely. None of this is going on in there. And of course, none of the darkness and the meanness and the harming of others, absolutely not happening there. So what a thing to look forward to. Okay, let me send you that beautiful fifth dimensional energy, the love, the peace, the joy, the bliss, the ecstasy, right? Coming at you now. Namaste. I honor the God in you.